I'm going to go over a few things about how to set up your home router so that you don't have to worry about people getting on it that you don't want to be on it. We'll go over setting up a router password, we'll go over setting up your SSID, and finally we'll go over setting up a passphrase to get on your router. The first thing I want to say is that if your screen right now is too small, because we're going to have a lot of writing up on the screen, be sure to hit the little icon in the bottom right hand corner that it should be a little like a gear symbol. That will make it so you can make the screen either 720 or full screen. And also make sure you check HD or 720 if it gives you that option. Now, to get on with it, also, don't worry about trying to follow along on your computer with doing all this right now. This will be posted on Facebook. It'll be posted on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to review it when it's all over with. And on with it. What you'll need, what I'll be assuming is you have the standard modem router setup. In other words, you get a modem from your cable provider company, and then you probably have your own router plugged into that, and then your computer plugged into the router. Sometimes you'll have a modem router combo. Don't worry, that'll work with this also. But what you'll need first is you'll need your IP address of your router and the administrative username and password. So let's show you how to find that. My background will pop up. There it is. What you can do is, hopefully you've still got the paperwork that came with your hardware. If you don't, you can always just use Google. Like for me, one of my old routers is this here. Back to the big screen. This is a WRT 54G router, Linksys home router. It's kind of an older model, pretty much out of date now. You can still use it, but it's nowhere near as fast as some of the newer stuff we've got. But it's a WRT 54G router. So now that we know that, all we have to do is go into Google and just type in WRT 54G router default address, and it should just pop up. That should be enough. Yeah, here it is. Let me magnify it for you. Hopefully you'll be able to see this in the magnifier up in the upper right hand corner of the screen. But it just says for all versions of the Linksys WRT 54G router, blah blah blah. There it is, my IP address, 192.168.1.1. And also it says in here, default password is admin. And I happen to know for this particular router, the default username is admin too. It won't let you change it. So now that we know that, we're going to get into our router. All we have to do is, here I have opened up Google. It's just a basic Google web page. And I'm going to type in Google browser page 192.168.1.1. And it's going to come up with the authentication required. See this little boxed area right here? It's just asking me for my username and password. Of course, on this particular browser, all you can use is admin for the username. And I'm also going to put in my password. It's going to be hidden from you, but I typed it in. Password, log in. And that password I just typed in is what we're going to change, because this is different from the password someone would type into their phone or tablet when they walked into your house to get into your network. This actually lets people get into your router and change its configuration, so you don't want to leave it at that. But here you see, now that I've typed in our default address to get into your router, I am actually connected to my home router through my browser on my home PC right now. What we want to do, before I get ahead of myself, your screen, if you had a different brand other than Linksys or Cisco, which is what I have, you could have TP-Link, Belkin, or Netgear. Your screen may look a little different. Doesn't matter, just look for these same settings and same words. Different companies will just rearrange them a different way. For us, I'm going to go into, let me move this a little bit, administration. Click it. And right here, it says router password. and re-enter to confirm, just like you would have done on many websites that you've ever signed up to be a part of. You know, registered your username, password. Same thing. It wants you to put in your password and confirm it. And after you do that, you would just go down here. Somewhere on the screen will be a save. Save it. And it tells me my configuration has been saved. So that helps us. That's the first part of our securing our home network. Is just securing that router password. Now nobody can log in using that default IP address, which is, you can't change that. So tell you why this would help. There used to be a thing a long time ago called war driving, and people would actually just drive around through neighborhoods looking for networks they could jump onto. They would pick up the router's name, and since all the routers had pretty much a generic IP address for their brand, they could just get into the network if the user had left it as its default admin username and password. It was easy to get in. So basically, it's a good idea to go ahead and change that. Just go into your router like I just showed you to, change that router password and the admin name if you can. This particular older router doesn't let me do that. So now we've got into our router. We've reset the admin password. And now we're going to our next step, which is to, we'll change the SSID broadcast and make sure people can't see it. But one thing I want to do before I go any further, I should have said it first. I got a little ahead of myself. Let me change up here. If you do this, don't worry about messing it up. Don't worry about making a mistake to your router and everything shuts down and you messed up the configuration and you can't fix it. I'll show you something. On most routers, everyone I've ever messed with, on the back, here's the front of the router. You go around to the back, and either on the back or on the bottom, show you, get it close to the screen. See right there, there's a little hole, and there's a button up inside that hole. The embossing above it says reset. And if you mess up your router, however, you can take a paper clip. I don't know if you can see it or not. There was a little button in there. And you just click that button and hold it down. Make sure the router's powered on, has power to it and it's powered on. You hold that button down for a few seconds and it totally resets the router back to the way it was when you got it brand new. So you can start all over fixing whatever you need to fix. So, hang on one second. Excuse me just a second. Yeah, had something messing with my broadcast there for just. So let me get back to where I was. We got into the router. We set the admin password. Now we're going to change something called an SSID. Basically, an SSID, all that is your router's name. Now, why they just didn't call it router name to make it simple for home users that aren't into networking, I don't know. You have to ask some nerd at Cisco. They come up with it. But here's where you find that. We're going to go back to the big screen. Get my picture back up. There it comes. Now we're looking for wireless. We're going to go into the wireless section, however it may be on your router. Configuration area. I'm going to click that. And what you're looking for is a place down here called SSID broadcast. And this enables or disables that SSID. In other words, if you've ever walked into a place, like you walk into Walmart or your doctor's office or even your own home, and you see your phone or your tablet says wireless networks are available, and it lights up. In my house, it would light up. Here it says network name, SSID, Revelation. So in my house, Revelation would appear in that list as one of the networks you can log into. So I could click on Revelation, and then I could type in my password to get on my network. Well, that's one good way to keep people off the network. We just hide Revelation. You would go back down here to where it says SSID broadcast and click disabled. If you notice, mine's disabled. People are in the neighborhood around my house. They can't see my network. They don't even know it exists because it never pops up in their list. Now that may make you wonder, okay, if I can't see it, how am I going to sign on to it? Well, in that same list in your phone or in your tablet where those lists of network names pop up, usually at the very bottom it says Add Network. And when you click Add Network, you'll just have to type in the name of your network. And once you've done this once and configured your phone or your tablet to find your network, you won't have to do it every time. You're just going to set it up like you normally would, where it automatically connects when you walk into your house, or you turn the device on, whether it be your tablet or your cell phone. But that is the number 2 thing you can do. Take your network name, SSID, name it to something that is easy for you to remember, something you like. I put in Revelation, and then change down here where it says SSID broadcast to disabled. Now people driving by, they can't see your network. Your neighbors can't see your network. Only you know it's there. So that's 2 things we can do. We can change our administrative password and our SSID, which brings us to the 3rd thing we should do. We're going to create a passphrase, which is nothing more than the password that you sign up with, the password that you put in when you're logging on to your home network. You can control that and what you want it to be. So let's go to wireless security now. Right here, wireless security. And it's going to be very simple. It's going to ask you about your security mode. And right now I have chosen WAP2 WPA mixed mode. So to me, that's the best one. I can do a drop down and I'm going to get all these different choices, but that's pretty much the best security you can have on your own home wireless network now. My passphrase, I'm getting ready. I'm going to tell the world my passphrase, which of course I'll change it as soon as I get off here. My passphrase is my 10-digit phone number for my home. Of course, I have different phones, so maybe I'll just pick another phone number. But anyway, pick a passphrase and just type it in here. It saves settings. It says your configuration changes have been set. I don't think I did that after changing the SSID, but always do that when you make a change on your configuration panel. Go back in, change your setting, make sure you save your settings. So now, all that's going to happen is, when I walk into my house, if I have a device that's never been on my home network, I'll scan for networks. I'll go into my wireless. I'll look for networks, and I'll just put add new network. The little dialog will come up asking me about the network. I'll have to type in the name of my network since I can't actually see it. Then when it tells me to connect, I'll hit connect automatically, and of course I'll put in my new passphrase. It's something you've probably done a million times if you went into offices and used their wireless or restaurants or other people's houses, except just this time you're in control of it in your own home. So that's basically the 3 main things you can do on this quick little tutorial to keep people out of your home network. Like I said, I'll be posting this video on my Networks for You YouTube page. It'll be here on my Networks for You. I'll be moving it to the Facebook page. And of course, it's here on my own personal page. But before you go, let me just give you a few other little quick things. If you want to post on my personal page or Networks for You page any ideas for future tutorials, things you want to know how to do, that would help me decide on what I want to do next. Give me 1 second, my voice is going. That would help me decide what tutorials I should do next. Also, if you're watching this, you pick this up on the World Wide Web, out there on the internet somewhere, and you want to get on my friends list, go ahead and friend me, because every Friday I'll be giving away posting a video game code just for fun. Sometime randomly during the day on Friday, the first person who grabs the code and redeems it gets the game. So, but you got to be on my friends list to see my post when it comes up. So friend me. And check out my webpage at www.networks4u.com. Let me blow that up. Let's see, make it easy, because it's www.networks. It's a number, 4u.com. And check out that webpage. You'll see some other information you can use. And also, I'd like to point out, since we're in we're talking about security, I'd like to talk about identity theft. That's one thing that is starting to become a real common thing in the world. And I use a service that I like to tell people about, because I don't want people using my numbers, my driver's license, my social security, especially my credit card numbers, to do anything. And I want those to be private. And I am using a service called, let me put this up again, www. Let's go to legal. I can't go back. I messed it up now. Let me go up here. www.legal. This is my page for it. SHVA. LegalSHVA.com. And when you go to this page, we're going to look at something called ID Shield. Scroll on down. ID Shield. And what this does is it's an app for your phone, and you also get it on the PC. But you load in all your credit card numbers, your driver's license, social security, and it monitors them. I'm losing my voice. Monitors them 24/7. So if anybody anywhere in the world tries to use your credit card numbers, your driver's license, social security, or anything, then you get notified right away. Also, if somebody does use your numbers or identity to ruin your reputation or mess with your business, they have a $5 million guarantee that they will use up to $5 million to find the person who did it and correct any damage done to your reputation and finances because of it. So it's a really good service. You ought to take a minute and go look at it. LegalSHVA.com. There's family plans, individual plans, and plans for small business. And while you're there, go ahead and it's a sister service with it. Check out Legal Shield. It will provide you with unlimited. It's basically legal insurance, so to speak. You get, for the price of talking to a lawyer for 1 hour, you get a whole year worth of access to an entire legal firm. You can call them an unlimited amount of times for legal consultation every month. They'll handle your will. You have a speeding ticket, you take a snapshot of it off your cell phone with an app and send it in. You get arrested for any reason, you have access to a lawyer 24/7. If you have a business, it's a good thing to have, because if you end up getting sued for anything, you accrue legal, but you'll have an attorney to represent you at all times. After 5 years, you can have up to 300 hours worth of legal representation if your company comes under some type of lawsuit of some other. But anyway, enough from that. Just go check out those two services. I think you'd like them if you check them out. But to get back to what we was on, remember the best way to secure your home network is reset that administrative password to your router, change your SSID, and also set up a passphrase. And let me know if you have any other suggestions for tutorials like see me do in the future. And I appreciate it. Thank you.